guys, the No-Kill Man here. I saw a video from someone who was like a Victoria Stilwell, Zach George, kind of force-free, Lima, adjacent individual, and they were arguing that that their head halty or gentle leader was not aversive because when the dog has it on, the dog is not freaking out, and the argument was that the dog gets to decide what is aversive and what is not. Not you. And, no hate to this person, okay? As much as I disagree with the force-free, movement, it's movement to ban everything under the sun, no hate to them. I just happen to fundamentally disagree with this. You see, people oftentimes equate excessive amounts of stress and excessive amounts of suppression with an aversive tool. But if a tool is used consistently in a predictable way, and there are predictable consequences for the dog will eventually accept it and be fine with it. So for example, with the gentle leader, the dog goes, when I pull, my head gets pulled to the side. That's uncomfortable. I don't like that. So I'm not going to pull anymore. And that is that. It's just like with horses and electric fences, right? There'll be an electric fence turned on, and those things, you think I'm evil for using a shock collar when I have my dog on a long line or off leash? Those things are way more intense than that. And when you see the horses, are they shaking and shitting themselves? The answer is no. They're just like, yeah, I can't touch the electric fence. When animals are given predictable, extremely predictable and consistent consequences for their behavior, with some exceptions, they're fine. Like, for example, let me give you an example about how incorrect this argument is. My dog, when I put a shock collar on her, when I pull out the remote or I put on the collar, some combination there too, starts wagging her tail, okay? When I have it on, and not in a nervous way, in a happy, excited way. Does that mean that my dog likes it when I nail her on the mini educator when she doesn't come to me, which is very rare, by the way, because again, no. And the reason why my dog has a positive association with the tool, it's not because she likes the shock collar, okay? It's because she likes what the shock collar means. The shock collar means that she's going to be on a 50-foot long line, either in my hands or dragging on the ground, given some freedom, and we will be playing some fetch. She likes fetch. She loves to play. So therefore she associates the shock collar with a good thing. That doesn't mean she enjoys being shocked. Same thing. Your dog has a positive association with the gentle leader. It's not because your dog enjoys having its head pulled to the side when it pulls. The reason why the dog has a positive association is because of what it means. If you slap on your gentle leader every time you take your dog for a walk, your dog's going to have a positive association with it. And yeah, so that's my point. Just because something's an aversive tool does not mean that the dog's going to be shaking and shitting themselves. And some people might ask, well, why do aversive tools cause excessive amounts of stress in certain situations? So, one answer, and this isn't the only answer, is lack of predictability. Okay? Dogs in particular, they love predictability. They love black and white. When the consequences are made clear to them, they're fine. The reason why a lot of the times there's not stress on the gentle leader, keyword a lot of times, not always, is because again, it's extremely predictable. Every time the dog pulls, head gets pulled to the side, pulled around. And that predictability is even though the dog doesn't enjoy having its head pulled. That predictability creates stability in the dog. And yeah, now I want to be clear. I personally don't use gentle leaders. I've just never felt the need to. And if you use gentle leaders, no hate to you. But you must recognize that they are, objectively speaking, an aversive tool. And anyone who says otherwise is lying. Now, is a dog's head be pulled to the side more aversive or just as aversive as being nailed at a 50 on a mini educator? By and large, no. But also with certain dogs. There are certain dogs that will find a gentle leader extremely distressing. In fact, like every week, if you look at the positive only side of the internet, forums, etc., you'll hear force-free people bitching, my dog doesn't have the gentle leader, how do I desensitize and counter-condition them to it? And the answer is they'll use food, maybe toys, and whatever. And you know what the interesting thing is about this? This is the exact same shit that people who use shock collars, for the most part, with some exceptions, do. I didn't start hooking up the mini educator and start blasting away every time my dog farted. No. I had to pair it with positive reinforcement so the dog, to speed up the dog's learning process so the dog could understand, how do I escape this? How do I avoid this? The interesting thing is the way people who condition the gentle leader with positive reinforcement, the way they condition it is not at all unsimilar to how people like me who use shock collars, how they condition it. You're both stacking negative and positive reinforcement. Now, of course, there's difference in degrees. There's no question about that. But yeah, and that's just my thoughts on the matter. Everyone have a lovely day.